All right, I'm going to call to order the Fairfield Golf Commission meeting on Monday, October 18th. I will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you for... Do we have anybody on the phone?
We do have people on the phone. There's one. I don't know if it's either Christine or Priscilla because doesn't have caller ID.
All right, well, why don't we just go around the table quickly and just say who's here for attendance for the people on the phone?
We have a quorum.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We have a quorum, but I'm just curious if they're here. Keith Varian.
Peter Seacrest.
Mike Harrington.
Mike Feinstein.
Go ahead, Mike.
Bob Diggins. Peter Grace. Anthony Caliber. Leah Mary.
All right. Christine or Priscilla, are you on the phone? Are they muted?
They're muted.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
But if they want to text me or text
Yep.
you, then I can unmute them.
Yep. If you're on the phone, email us.
Oh, yeah, email.
Let me see if, real quick, I think it did. No. Okay. All right. We will start with the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from our September 13th meeting? Any comments?
Yeah, I just thought under administrative report B, just for clarity's sake, A. Calabrese did look into the bathroom, that's specifically at the 11th tee, right?
And the 17, or between 17 and 13? 11, 17. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think for clarity, adding those three, the minutes would be worthwhile.
Okay, and I'm sorry, what am I adding?
There has been a request for a bathroom in the area of the 11th tee
Okay.
and between the 7th, what's that again, Anthony?
Between 17 and 17 was off 17 green. 17 green, 11 fairway.
Yeah.
10 and 2.
Thank you.
All right. With that change, I will take a motion to approve.
I move we approve the minutes.
Second. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Staff report. Bob, you're up.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Everything's going well at Smith. Continuing to be busy. I know the rounds are a little off of the numbers from last year, but I just think last year was kind of like a perfect storm for the world of golf. I don't know the historical numbers, but Anthony, you do. We got to be doing pretty good historically, I would think.
Yes.
Versus 19?
Yeah, versus 19.
That's sort of the baseline.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers. I don't know, but I'm feeling we're doing well.
Yeah.
I have noticed people going back to work a little bit.
How about relative to budget? We're still ahead? You know, we've fallen.
I'd have to look. I have no idea at this point. We have a quarterly meeting next week or the week after for the Board of Finance. I'll be preparing estimates on numbers, but I have not started looking at those yet.
And
We've definitely covered the
120,000
budget.
year-to-date.
Right, but we're still in Q1, so
Yeah.
I mean, we don't. It's a fiscal year, so yeah, it's a long way to go.
But to me, it's busy, and it's really good. Pete's got, of course, in great shape. I didn't really feel many complaints at all. So I feel like the operation's going pretty good. The only reason I could think rounds maybe down a little bit is we do have high school golf in the fall now. Boys are playing in the fall. We probably lost a few paying rounds in that regard, but I wouldn't say significant. And over the year, it'll balance off. They won't be there in the spring, so it'll be the same. Besides that, I don't really have much else to add. Any questions you guys got?
Which was 4 up now?
That was on the agenda later, but
Yeah.
we definitely, or we cover it now.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Let's get, it's on the agenda, so I'd rather keep it in the order. Good. All right. Anthony?
Not much to add to Bob's report. Administratively, things are going pretty smoothly up at the golf course. So very, very pleased with how it's going.
Good. Going great. Hopefully the weather keeps holding out. playing,
That is the key.
like I said, last year, we were playing pretty deep into December. I forget, when did we close last year? It was like,
15.
was it the 15th? Yeah, I was playing in December. Good. Okay. All right, Peter? Anything on your end?
Good evening. Not really much. First of all, I'd just like to apologize for my last week if I offended anybody by my comments. I'll start by saying that. And other than that, the golf course, good shape. It's leaf season now. I'm still struggling for staff. It's a balance. Keep the good guys or get a bunch of half-decent guys. So in the budget, we've kept the good guys and we're paying them more money. So, we're staffed with 7 guys and doing the best we can. Hopefully they all come in. Sometimes they don't come in. But all in all, the course is in good shape. We're winding down. And other than that, any questions? I'm sure I get like the last meeting, the ladies were discussing the tees, so we addressed that. We went out and airified them, put sand down and seeded them. So it's not so much the turf. I think Priscilla had mentioned the turf there, and it's not that. It's really the soil underground. So
Right.
we're trying to loosen that up, and so they get the tees into the ground. So it's that's one thing we did address. And 4, 5, 6, a bunch of the ladies they were complaining about.
How many staff people do you normally have?
Well, at one time I used to have 10 to 12 guys.
Yeah.
And
Where are you now?
unfortunately, some people are making more money just staying at home. And
7%.
yeah, I'm down to 7 right now. And I got 2 full-time guys, a part-time mechanic, and 5 seasonal guys.
But we're not looking for people right now, right?
I'm not looking. No, we're winding down. So
Right.
It's just going to be leaf cleanup.
Yeah.
Keep them till probably around Thanksgiving, maybe December 1, and then they won't be back until March. So I'll be down to 2 guys and a part-time mechanic.
Yeah, right.
But also keep in mind, if I could just add to this, that I wouldn't say our lack of staffing is due to budgetary reasons.
Right.
It's the fact that people don't want to work.
Correct.
And the people that do want to work want more money, and they're getting more money in other places.
Yeah, it's not
So-
unique to us, right?
No, exactly.
It's an issue across the board.
Exactly. It's like, just want to make that clear.
Every golf course is going through the same thing.
Right.
It's,
Every restaurant too.
yeah, every business.
And if there's no snow on the ground, will we stay open through December?
Well,
or-
Bob wants to stay open through February.
There was one year we stayed open until February, only a few years ago. So as long as the weather,
does.
Still the weather. I mean, worst case scenario is nice weather. Maybe we just open on weekends. I don't know. You're not gonna get holes changed every day, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we play it by ear, and if it gets bad by this December 15th, we'll close down. If it stays nice, there's been Christmases when it's been 75 degrees. So.
Have we ever stayed open year-round? Has that ever?
it happened a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember playing much past December.
It was like 2017, 2018, where we played right through February.
Okay.
Then I think we had a big storm, and then I think we opened back up in March.
Right, yeah, right. Okay.
Okay, there's all weather pending.
Yeah, totally.
What I haven't seen happen here, and I don't know, sorry, speaking out of turn, is where we close the course, and then you get like a heat wave, and we reopen. I haven't seen us do that, but other courses.
And that's what because you do see, like, on occasion you'll see the wheel, like you'll drive by the wheel and all of a sudden the wheel will be jam-packed in January because it's a 50-degree day and sunny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how easy it is to mobilize and do all of that.
Right.
I can't imagine that's super easy on a whim to just open a course and put in flags and do all of that. But, we can talk about that if that's something, Bob, if that's something you want to talk about kind of going forward. I mean, I think we'd all love that if, we had a 60-degree sunny day, let's play, but.
There'll be golfers out there.
Whether we're open or not. Well, it takes time to put a little box out there. You put $20 in a box and go.
Hello.
Sorry.
Make you do the pledge of allegiance.
That's
Acapella.
Yeah. All right. We're just going through the reports right now. Peter's finishing up his report. Good. All right. Anything else from you?
No, that's
All right.
it.
I heard the Tony Lang tees going down easier than
They going about as well as the Craig Curley ball one.
We'll get to those, we got an email on that. All right, Greens Committee, anything going on?
No, of course, considering all we've been through all year, I think it's in pretty good shape. I think frankly, on some holes, the rough is a little too thick, but, that's just me. No, I think you've done a terrific job, you and your guys, Peter, and I think it's in good shape.
Yeah. The teams are looking good, I thought the team options are looking
Yeah,
good.
the greens are terrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good work.
Good. All right, part 3.
Liam and I have not been there the last month. Peter says
Oh,
it's
that's
still,
right, yeah.
he says it's still there though, Peter.
I played it, it's in good shape.
All right.
Yeah, it's in good shape. My kid played it today, so, yeah, so far so good, I think. I haven't heard anything about it. I know it's still, every time I'm there, it's busy, so.
Still getting around some.
That's what I mean, it's,
Yeah, the rounds look
always
good.
people,
Rounds are good.
there's always people at the par 3. Bob, you ever have anything more going on there, like you guys are still
We
doing?
ran a lot of junior stuff down there
Yeah,
this year.
yeah,
And we just had the little ones, the last week, we take them down there, they're 4 to 6 ones. They play 1 and 2,
nice,
and they just love it.
yeah, right.
You know, that hooks them.
Yeah.
Getting on the field really is,
Mhm.
you think about any other sport, you know, they don't let you on the field all the time, they golf.
Yep.
I think you lose kids, you don't get them out there.
Part of the reason I think first he actually loses kids on occasion.
You gotta get them on the course and,
Yeah. That's good.
in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. No old business.
We did that, the other thing, was we had an unbelievable middle school. You saw how many middle school kids we had at the part 3 this year, so.
Yeah, they had a tournament today. With
Yeah, I
Woods,
mean, like
Tomlinson,
300
and
some odd
Ludlow
rounds.
today.
300 some odd rounds we did down there in middle school golf,
Yeah.
which I think is great.
Just so you know, Tomlinson, it was Tomlinson versus in the final.
All the middle schools have teams, and then St. Thomas too.
The kid on Tomlinson, I don't know what hole they were playing, they had to do a playoff hole. He hit his tee shot 5 inches from the hole.
The
Made the
way,
putt for a 2, won the tournament. It was a single hole playoff.
They'll never forget
So
that.
Tomlinson won today.
Yeah.
My son was there the Yeah, so,
It's just great that they're playing, that's the perfect spot for them.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so, good, all right, 4 up, I don't know who wants to talk about
I
it.
could give the best update that I can at this time. Thank you to Liam for basically taking this and running with it and getting the system to run the reports we need it to be able to run to upload to Munis. So I think we are at a point where we're ready to make a switch. I think Kelly was probably in touch with Bob recently to trying to push for an end of, or a start of month, so November 1 flip over. But I know she was I think she had a couple of questions, I'm not
Yeah,
sure. if
we
she
got
followed
stuck
up,
a little
but-
bit with gift cards, there's a little thing there, and memberships, but I mean, it could happen November 1, if, it could happen.
My hope would be that it happens.
It will definitely be ready for next season.
My hope would be that it happens for November 1, while golf is still going,
Yeah, get a
slow
month.
it down a little
Right.
bit, and we can work out all the kinks before we go full throttle in April. And
That's my strong feeling, if we can get it in this year, let's do that, so then in the spring, we're ready to rock. But that's, I think everybody wants that, 'cause that's the easier way of dealing with it, so. All right,
Yeah, definitely making progress. I mean,
So what's the next step? Is there any, I mean,
We just got, the next progress is just to update the.
we've signed them already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it upon us to decide to go
Yeah,
that way?
it is up to us to make sure, I think, again, gift cards I know is where Kelly was getting hung up, because right now, all the gift cards were sold in our current system. We have a list of all the gift cards, and I would say 95% of the gift cards are used at the golf course,
Mhm.
as opposed to fitness or recreation. But it's just a matter of, okay, well, if we remove you have to know,
A lot of them don't have names.
Right,
attached to them
four
either,
up
so that's a
can't,
problem.
four up can't transfer it into their system because they
Yeah.
don't know who to attach it to, so I don't wanna say it's kind of a free-for-all, I mean, the card matches, someone comes in with a card, we
We're
can
gonna
play
figure
it,
it
we
out,
know, but it's gotta be kept, somebody's
Good
gotta,
amount of money.
someone has to keep track of that database.
Yeah.
So Kelly's thought is, well, let the golf course handle it because 95% of those people are gonna be coming up to the golf course to use their card. So that's kind of where we are. And legally, we have to hold on to that money until there's certain time restrictions on it.
I think
I'm sure we have things
I
from
think we can get over
10 years
it.
ago.
I think it'll take 2 years to flush it out.
Yeah.
So the gift cards are sold by Parks and Rec for use anywhere?
Correct, yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody buys them around Christmas time. Yeah, they wanna buy their father something, their mother.
Gotcha.
And what was the other issue, the membership?
Well, no, just how, it'll be related to when we flip over next year and everyone's gotta come in and prove their residency. And we wanted to make sure they could pre-do that online, which they can. So you would just come and validate it at the golf shop with a license and a.
So you would no longer get a card.
No more
There'd be no more card. You would renew online. Anybody can renew. So I was gonna say John Smith, but it's probably somebody,
Yeah.
whoever could be an Easton resident, say they're a Fairfield resident, sign up, book a tee time as a resident. When they come to the golf shop, they have to verify every customer that comes in the first time they play. Say, okay, show me that you are a resident.
And what are the
We're gonna take your
things like
picture
that?
too.
And what are the ways that you can do that?
It's a license and
And
a
a
utility bill.
That's what you do at the marina, right?
Yeah, it's the same we've always
Same
done
thing we
for
do
golf
there.
here.
We've done it.
We always did it, we used to have to come here to prove it. And we would sell the ID. My staff's used to doing that with all kinds of stuff, which is why it was always done here. It's not a problem for them, my staff would be thrilled to say, hey, yeah, go
Yeah,
up to
no,
the golf course.
I get that 4,000.
Right, and have those 4,000 people go up there.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's still an issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and, you know, golf, we catch, so right now, my staff is going through the beach sticker database. We normally would be going through the golf database at this time of year. Things start to slow down in the office where ladies have time to start looking up property transactions and who moved, freezing accounts, so people can't renew next year. And that's what we had always done for golf as well. They're obviously not doing that at this moment because we're going to the new software, but it won't be necessary.
So we'll just have to kind of talk about, because if you have all those people coming up there, your staff, because, you know, there's not a lot of people there.
It's a burden. Well, yeah, we'll have to be fully staffed early on.
And then we'll have to have one set, because we're going to get tons of complaints.
It's gotta be one station that is just for that.
And one rule
right.
about how you prove it. Like, we can't have some poor person deciding there, oh, that's good enough. Like, we need to give them the rules so people
Right.
don't have
And-
arguments,
Yeah, they
right?
have to know
And we
that.
have those rules. I mean,
Yeah,
those
they're
that's already
there,
spelled
they're there.
out.
So we just have
People
to-
know
It's just a matter of, again, enforcing it and training the staff to ask the right questions, and that
Right.
somebody's not gonna be, oh, okay, hey, Christine, yeah, come on.
Right.
right.
You live next to me, I know that.
You lived in town
Yeah.
for 30 years, and now you moved, that's okay, come on. That's the kind of stuff that happens.
Well, so if we get it in the fall, or this year, in 2021, it's probably easier to do that again now, because we'd have to go through that same process, right?
So,
I don't know if it's yearly, because you're gonna have to sign up yearly. I
I
think you're gonna have to
think
do it
every year
yearly.
you have to do this with Fora.
I think you're gonna have to do it
Every year?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bit of a pain.
Every
Okay.
calendar year. So you may have to do it in November, or you won't have to.
No, it wouldn't do anything, your calendar.
Calendar year.
When you renew your golf fees.
Yep.
So we've already collected the golf fees, so it'd be awkward. I think in the forum, I could ask them, they probably could do it, maybe you would probably.
So if you
I have no
go to
idea.
play, normally we renew last March.
Like March.
So March, you renew.
Starting
on March,
January.
Yeah, it starts in
And
January.
you have a tea time, and you have 4 of you, and you go up there, and now it's your first time you have to present your water bill. You forgot it. Do you have to go home?
You gotta pay the, non-resident.
Non-resident rate, like,
For
how are you,
for
that's
real?
not gonna be, yeah, well, that's not very friendly.
That's crazy.
That's gonna cost
So,
a lot.
well, I mean, again, the other thing that could be added on is we can give them access to check the tax records, which is, we have access here, but if someone's house is an LLC or it's a business, and again, I'd have to look to see
License is
exactly
not good
what
enough?
our rules,
Just a
it's
license?
2 things normally. It's normally your license and utility bill. Licenses don't get renewed
But this is all new.
ever,
Yeah.
right.
I think this is
right,
what we
but-
might want to change.
But when
It's
you,
gonna come with our
when
utility
you
bill once a year.
move, the DMV doesn't give you a new license, right? So you have that license, we get this with the college kids all the time that still use their license from when they lived at home.
Right.
They don't change their license, and the DMV doesn't change it until they actually renew. And they don't give you that, sometimes they give you that sticker, but most
What about
times
a
they don't.
utility bill online? Like, could I have, like, if I logged into my,
Right.
you know.
That would be,
so
that's
that I-
normally okay.
Right, so in other words, I don't have to, because I don't have paper things, you know, for like my electric bill. But if I showed up with my, you know, UI bill on my phone, that's all good?
That would be.
That's a little easier.
But it just leaves so much at
Software.
the
Software,
mercy
yeah,
of
well,
the clerk approaching
Yeah,
at the
it's
top.
gonna be a nightmare in terms of time.
So, right, I just had to pull up on the
Well, I got
website.
some ideas.
People are gonna
We
forget.
could set up stations early, like
Argue with
them.
February, March, where, you know, we just have them come, just do it then.
Before we
This
open,
way, yeah.
before we open.
Yeah, I mean, we
We
got
gotta
enough
communicate
windows.
in advance.
There's ways to
Over and
do it.
over
We
again.
can,
So
Go to Bob's
the
house.
current policy, the current policy that the commission set was proof of residency for ID is required when registering and must be verified each calendar year. New registrants must have 2 forms of identification showing that they are a Fairfield resident. 1, a photo ID. Acceptable forms of identification include a driver's license or other government-issued ID cards or licenses with photo displaying town of Fairfield address, a car registration, current personal property tax payment receipt, or utility bills, all showing town of Fairfield address.
But that's not the case, because when I've been renewing all my stuff,
That's
for the last
for new,
2
right?
years, I've
Yeah,
never
that's
had to
for
do
new.
That's
anything.
correct, because my staff goes through proactively and checks
Because it's down.
the property transactions and all that stuff. If they see that Hogan sold their house,
Right.
they're freezing your account and putting a note in there, must
Oh, yeah.
prove residency.
You need to make them do it.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
your car
awkward,
registration
it's
is an
awkward.
easy thing then. If you're driving, let's say your car registration in the car, probably.
I think we have to
You
set up.
Well, on my car,
people-
my car is my company's car, so I
Oh, I do.
would.
Right, so that was
for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
4,000.
Let's think about that.
Right,
We don't have to,
it's 4,000
March, right, we're talking March.
Can you help me with this?
I can't help you with this at all.
It has to be done by, if we open the course in March, normally we would start selling IDs in January, right?
Right.
Everybody likes to start renewing stuff early so they're ready to go.
I mean, people show up,
Not
you know,
anymore.
sometimes 10 minutes.
You're right.
Yeah, sometimes people show right before their tea time, and they're hustling, right? Then Bob's gotta say, I need to see this, I need to see that, they don't have it, you know, that's gonna happen.
It's awkward, it's gonna be.
You're gonna say, okay, now you're gonna say twice as much,
How
you're gonna give them a hard
how's
time.
Tashua
They're
doing?
doing it, actually did it, it's doable.
I mean,
Can they come here?
We gotta do it proactively.
They can't, right, it'll only be the golf course.
I don't plan on training my staff in forum.
Yeah.
But I think Mike's right, it's all about communication and how strong they're
Oh,
communicated, and how often, like, don't forget, if you try to
Right, on
come
that,
here.
on the
you know,
confirmation email, the tea
Yeah.
time, it's gotta say that multiple
Yeah.
multiple
But I like
times.
Bob's idea too, which is to have almost like a day in advance.
I
where
can
you
have
come-
hotspots, like I'm.
Like if I
through the
come in
winter,
on
I'm
my
open
golf
on
pass,
Wednesdays or
Yeah.
something.
Before I play, I would do everything right
You know what I
then.
mean?
Yeah,
So we do that in
yeah.
We'll be able to
February.
get all these.
Yeah,
That's not
I
bad.
think
Yeah, look, this is a lot of golf courses are doing it, so there must be a way to get it done.
Yeah.
It is a lot, 4,000, right, IDs?
We're at like 3,500.
Yeah.
But that's 3,500 people that bring out utility
People,
bills.
people be proactive, they can upload like a document to
Yeah,
4.
they're already, yeah, they're done with 4UP, and they're just coming to verify. They've already got their 4UP ID, they're already in,
Right,
4UP.
okay.
They've
I
already
see.
given
But
their
he's actually
credit.
uploaded in advance.
First round.
So that way they don't have to bring it with you, you
Oh,
check them in, you see
so
that they're all good already.
If I can, just, sorry to jump in here, right? I was just asking about Tashua because they are on forum, so what is their policy? And it is clearly laid out, all renewals and new customers will have a picture taken on our computer. All existing residents must renew each year. A grace period of 60 days is extended until May 15th for all renewals. After May 15th, you must renew or purchase a new ID 1 business day in advance in order to receive resident rates, no exceptions. Please plan accordingly. You must bring the following for new and or renewal. 1, a valid Connecticut driver's license with a Trumbull address, and one of the following, a tax bill with your Trumbull address, a utility bill, or a car registration. Those are the exact same things we're requiring now.
But they say you have to come before you're.
Yeah, they're saying a day ahead.
So that would take some strife out.
I like that.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
was
like
gonna do some digging, but.
I love the fact that they
Some
did
language,
renewal, 60-day grace period.
I like that too, because then it doesn't get that awkward spot, you say, all right, bud, I know, I understand.
60 days, right, to go fix it.
You'll get beat up, you guys.
Yeah, that might be,
That's
that might be too much.
So you,
2 months.
That's 2 weeks.
so that 60 days, you still get the non-resident, I mean, the
You look at the
resident.
resident rate, so they give you that
Yeah, so
60-day
they give you
grace,
buffer.
if it's a renewal,
It was
right?
a renewal.
If you had it last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
So there's ways to build some of this in.
I don't like publicizing that, I would rather use that as a case.
I agree. This is a hard stop.
I agree.
Taking advantage of it in March.
You're right.
Yeah, ballpark.
You're right.
Ballpark.
It's just too long.
All right, let's think about
All right.
that, because that, right, we can maybe roll some of that in, and we can come up with some ideas too about having like specific days, but we can deal with it, you're right, we'll deal with that. But it sounds like if you do 4 up, that's what you do,
Yeah.
so we're in it. All
And
right.
we plaster that all over
Yeah,
the
right.
website and.
Which will have a new website.
Yeah, new website.
That's what we want.
Good.
It's very good.
I'm excited about the
You
new
won't be
website.
in
but
person
it's-
anymore. We can
No.
do better.
Clearing the decks over there.
I can't wait for the new website, I think that's gonna be great. Good, all right, anything else on 4 up?
Nope.
All right. All right, 10-year plan, we're still making progress. Mike Carrington is working on, walking the course with Zach. Bob is going to be bringing in, I don't really know, guys.
Well, off Mike's recommendation, I spoke with the USDA. They have a department that basically comes into your golf course and evaluates it on whatever areas you want them to evaluate it on. So I floated to him, cart path, bunkers, no particular order, cart path, bunkers, drainage, and trees.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty much our hot buttons. And so you pay the guy $2,700 for a half day, $3,800 for a full day, and then he does a report. It was done here in 2004. I read it, Mike showed me, it was very thorough to me.
Yeah, good report.
I have an email that I could send to you, showing you an example of the report the guy sent over. It's really good.
Is it the same as 2004?
Yeah, I mean, it's very thorough.
I
Very
gave
thorough.
you a copy of the one for 2004.
Yeah, no, I have seen that one, that's a good one.
I think it'd be a good place to start.
It'd be, I think we're gonna put something together for the town, we should have this, especially if it's, let's say we do 2,700 for half a day. That gets us a really detailed professional report as to what we do, then we just have to price out some of those items. And then Anthony is working on the range, which is a totally separate budget item now. So that actually, I think, would run parallel to this, but separate. So I think our 10-year plan will really be that kind of stuff that Bob just talked about. And then the range in the short game area will be, which is already in the, at least proposed, it has to still get approved by the town body. But that will be in for not 2022, but 2023.
Yep.
At $500,000. So, assuming that gets approved, we would start then pricing it, going through the whole, getting architect to design it, et cetera. And then the plan that we would put is more of these just sort of, capital improvements to the course.
I talked to Zach today. He's tied up for at least the next 3 or 4 weeks. What we get from Zach that we don't get from USDA is cost estimates for the various projects.
That's what we need.
And I told Zach, I said, look, I know you're busy till the weather gets bad. It's something we can do in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
So we'll get that done. And then I think the next point of departure is we have to delineate from the project list that we have now, which things can Peter and his staff do, and which ones can't they, get some estimates from Zach of what they'll cost, and then put together a program on how we go about doing it.
Yeah, but once we get it, we'll sit down with Peter and we'll talk about, what you guys are comfortable doing, what's beyond you guys in terms of scope. And then we can start putting together cost estimates for those. Now, again, and I mentioned this to Anthony, my sort of overarching fear about this whole thing is what's going on with the town right now, and all of the costs that the town is staring at the same time that we're asking for money. And so it's literally like worst case for us to go in right now and ask for money. But I think it makes sense because you have to maintain, even in light of what's going on, you have to be able to maintain. So,
Yeah, but there's extra money from two standpoints. I mean, the old plan, a lot of what they got was justified by increased revenue.
yeah,
That's not going to be the case this
Correct.
time. We do have with the cart pads, safety issues. So there's some of that has to be addressed. And then there's other things that will be sustaining the current condition of the course, but still beyond Peter's staff's ability to do.
that's my point. I agree.
And so that won't, the argument there will be preserving revenue or avoiding the loss of
But if we
revenue
lose revenue, it'd be like
as opposed to gaining. So we'll have to think through how we want to present that and what we want to say about it. And then there's some other things that we'll come up with that may be just enhancements that are gonna be very difficult to fill.
You will say that, Zach, I mean, I talked to him and he's assuming he's getting the job done. I said, well,
No.
then I'll ask about the bid.
Yeah.
So I talked to him, it was something myself, so.
He's assuming he's gonna get,
Well, he says, am I coming down here?
well,
He's not coming down out of the kindness of his heart. I mean, we're gonna pay USGA somebody, and you want to pick his brain, he's gonna want something too, so.
he told me he would do it.
Well, he, assuming he's getting the
So I don't
job.
know what conversations you've had with him.
No.
What conversations I've had with him is he's gonna come in the next 2 months and not charge us. Now,
Well, I
whether
have
he
zero,
gets wind of the USDA and all that.
I've had zero conversations with any of these guys, and I'm the guy who pays the bill. So,
Yeah.
Is the thought of the short game area to be in the range here, but with the range or somewhere by the course?
I think that's yet to be discussed, but I would imagine it is. It makes the most sense in my mind, and I'm curious what, Bob.
Well, I still think we need a bigger playing green around the clubhouse. I just don't think that playing green's big enough, maybe we build another one someplace else, but,
Right.
it's just getting the hell beat out of it right now.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. But I think once we get a sense about whether that money's gonna get approved, and as we get into that, then we can sort of sit down and start talking specifics. But I think you're right. That's one of the very first questions is where, and then how much do we allocate to the range, how much do we allocate to, the short game area? But, I mean, I, my personal view, and this is way super early, would be we strip down the trees that, between the road and the range, and you put it there, and then you tie it into the new range building, which will have bathrooms, machines, et cetera. Hopefully Wi-Fi, things like that, and, rather than having the range short game area, unless we can put the short game around the clubhouse, which I'm not sure we're going to. I wouldn't want it in a third location, but I'm just spitballing now because we don't really have, once we get a budget, we can start to think about that. But yeah, all that, those are real questions.
What's the status with the ball machine?
no status at the moment. Yeah, and we've got to run, if we're gonna spend the money to purchase it, we've got to run infrastructure to that facility that's not there at the moment. I would love to do it.
Another thing we gotta look at is, I don't know, just the shots coming out, they've seen that one came right through the doors and hit the back wall of the dining room yesterday.
But how many is it total, right? I mean,
There's been quite a few, there's broken gutter up above, on the new clubhouse, other kind of. I don't know what I don't have the answer. I mean, the ones that roll up aren't bad, but the ones that are.
well, what we could put into this, is, and maybe this is a question for Zach then, not for the USDA person, is, is there anything we want to do to, again, I'm not sure this is something that I want to spend money on yet, but, is there any type of protective measure that we want to put up, around the patio? I want to.
I saw these little kids, like,
I
five, four little kids running around, I was just like, oh my God.
Yep. I saw ball flying it. I saw it bounced around the feet of the table, and was so I have certainly seen it.
You're talking to them.
Yeah, that's right, I saw we used one too, that's right, that's two. I forgot, he and I were talking on the patio, but down closer to Bob's shop, ball flew in. So, maybe at some point we kind of pay attention to the number of those balls, because if it is, once a week, that's a real issue. If it's once a month, once every 2 months,
Has Yanni said anything?
He's only mentioned one to me.
Has he?
And that was, it does, I mean, obviously there's been a few, it sounds like, but.
Yeah.
But I wonder
He
if
might not hear about it all.
Yeah, that's true. I'll ask, I'll ask Yanni to see if he thinks.
I haven't heard much about it.
I haven't heard
A
it.
few times,
Yeah.
but I know balls are coming in though.
It's not a problem for someone.
Someone gets hit, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I do think it'd probably be wise to put signage up, like if you're at a baseball game. Just be aware of,
Keep your head on a swivel.
type of signage.
That's a really good idea.
Your hair is your own risk.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
or
be aware that
Yeah.
golf balls are
Yeah.
flying,
That you may die,
I like that sign.
off the record.
Yeah, well, luckily nobody's been hurt, so it's not like we've had a complaint. We've been hurt and complaints. Has anybody got an email about it or anything? So.
Sorry, I'm running up.
No, it's.
No, but That's a problem, though. Yeah, it's good to know. All right. Communications, we did get a couple of communications. Richard Mueller, is concerned about the cart path, and cutting down trees, which I think we all agree with, fair points, and we're working on it. Tucker funds, we got a lovely letter from Peter's wife about, I'm sure you guys have all seen, both areas now, the one above the 18th and now in the front. I think the building looks great. They both look great. I think you guys did a great job, particularly all your weeding efforts.
Yes, thank you.
Have done great. But just thank you on behalf of the town and the golf commission. It's been fantastic for the clubhouse.
Well, it's great. It's a win-win.
It really is.
And I think the front looks really nice now. Or
Yeah.
kind of looks, it's not great when you walked in.
Yeah.
So I think that's been helpful, and it's, yeah, we're real pleased with how it came out. I think there's another big tree going in.
Yep, one more.
So I think, you know, one of the things we want to make sure that kind of continues, and I know, Anthony, you're on this, is the irrigation, which I think we're in motion on
Yep.
that. And then, as I think Karen said in there, the sort of the maintenance of it. And I think the maintenance is really going to be over time, not a big deal. You know, there's going to be we're going to, you know, we're going to keep mulching, but, you know, whether it's weeding or just sort of, you know, making sure things aren't getting overgrown or whatever, you know, I think that would be important to us, important to building. And as Karen said, you know, the pollinator pathway resolution that the town passed, you know, this is a great opportunity to sort of promote that. And, you know, I think the town will be, or should be, supportive of, you know, making sure the place.
Well, I think it's time to turn over the maintenance. I mean, you guys have done a fantastic job, but I think if your guys can, again, take over now what their role has been and take it away from them, because I think, in my view at least, you guys, you paid, you donated, you put it together, and you're not maintaining it forever, right? I mean, that's not the goal. Right, that wasn't the goal. So I think, you know, again, I haven't talked to you about it, I probably should have.
You're throwing a big curveball.
Yeah, I know. But just based on this, you know, I would think that's something that you guys can do going forward, which would be maintain it. I mean, hopefully it's not mowing, so, but I know it is work.
That's
So
definitely work. I'll have to, you know, I could probably have to get one person in to just take care of the garden.
yeah,
And again, I'm just saying, well, when we started this whole thing, I said, that's all well and good, but I don't have the staff to maintain it. I said that right at the very beginning. Now I got the ones up front, it's going to be a lot of work, but we can work it out.
Yeah, we'll figure, you know, Karen can, I'm labor, not management and all that. But I think, you know, once it gets going, the idea is that it sort of, it becomes not, you know, you're not pruning, and,
Right.
you know, it's not like,
It's not an everyday thing, that kind of gardening. You know,
yeah, it's not
you're
that
there,
type of
like, 2 or
thing.
3
It's really
times.
supposed to kind of be
Yes,
self-perpetuating.
Yeah.
But there is, you know, there is certainly, you know, we want to, you know, edge it and just make sure it looks nice over time. And when you mow in front, the grass in front, and, you know, I don't think the weed is going to be a big deal over time, but it's certainly going to have to, you know, some. Now, once the mulch is on, it's really going to, that takes care of a lot of it, like 90% of it. So anyway.
I mean, I can take care of the weeds and stuff, but I don't think you like the way I take care of weeds, so.
No, you'll get in trouble for that. She is not easy to deal with. You get her angry.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. But again, I just think it makes sense to get them out of the maintenance aspect of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we did get something else. Yes, Tony Wong's teeth. There were tees placed, looks like on the 12th tee and the 14th tee. Anyways, obviously, we can't have political material on the public golf course. I know you've sent letters to a couple of people when they've done it.
Yeah, Tony is a repeat offender, or his supporters are. We're in election season, and this is typically when you see it. But yes, and I received a few phone calls on Craig Curley with ball markers, so we did send a letter to Craig as well.
All right.
So yeah, those are the only two this season that I've gotten either emails or calls on.
You'll send a letter then to Tony?
Yep.
All right. The only thing I didn't understand in Kevin Flynn's email was, apparently there's a sign in an adjacent property that faces the golf course. There's nothing I'd like to do about that. That's
That's
private political sign.
That's his property.
You're exactly right. Yeah, I understand, but, we all have signs. So that's, nothing's gonna change there. Who am I missing? Anybody?
I sent two today,
Yeah.
that they were on the one document, and then I sent the Tony, that was the other, last week maybe, or,
Yeah.
I think that was it. It was a slow month.
Yeah, all right.
We like that.
Good. Guys in the back, any public comment that you would like to say?
Yeah, Joe Wright, 115 Smedley Road. You and I talked about the 50-year anniversary of the golf course.
Yes, oh, yeah, sorry.
And I just wanted to see
Yep.
if, there was any kind of plan in place to do anything, or not.
We were just, a little bit before here, we were kicking around, we just have to figure out, really what the next steps are on it, but I love the idea, and I think it would be something fun to do. So, nothing in place yet, but yeah,
Is it next,
certainly.
what
Is it
year?
2022?
Correct.
So the logo says, 1972.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't done any research.
Is that what?
I think that's 50 years.
Yeah, you think, the logo, this is the dilemma, so I don't want to say this yet. The logo says 1972, always has, but every piece of paper and news article I find says 1971. So I'm just trying to confirm by going through the minutes and everything else, when they actually did
So we
it.
missed it?
I don't know.
Well,
I wasn't even
the
alive.
good thing about that is no one else will either.
Yeah.
That's right.
The logo says 72.
So they listened
My
to the
feeling, but.
meeting.
Yeah.
First full year with
I guarantee you, there's gonna be somebody that's going, no, I played the very first round at Smith, I was there. Mike, I'm surprised you're not jumping on this right now.
Celebrate the anniversary of the logo. not
Yeah.
the logo.
Would this be something like we'll plan multiple things?
I was thinking that, I think it would be like,
So
kind
if
of
you
like a
want
year.
to do a committee, I'd love to be on that
Okay.
committee. Kind of just plan some fun events around that.
Yeah, and I know the
get
men's
ideas
club wanted
from-
to get
It's a great
involved.
idea.
So I
Yeah,
think that's
I'd love to do
It's a
that.
great idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, to do, some kind of celebration.
Yeah, and maybe it's a couple things all year.
Yeah,
That'd be really
have a
fun.
couple of
That's
them.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll be on that.
I think that's good.
One idea that came up, came from the bar, so it's got to be a good idea, was, and you and I have talked about this
Yeah.
previously, is maybe be a good year to try and do the townwide tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Make it an an open
Yep.
to anyone who lives in town and has all the
Well, you
proper
have to run that
ideas.
through our committee.
It's so far on the committee, I have a lot of power right now.
It's
But that's a
just,
good idea.
you can,
Yeah, it's really
certainly
fun.
people who live in town, belong to a country club, would be welcome to participate, but it would be more along the lines of, and the way I thought about it, is the way the town tennis tournament is run. So you could have a town of Fairfield
Yeah.
champion kind of thing.
Oh,
And
that's
it
really
wouldn't
fun.
be a men's club event, it would be a
Town.
golf course town event.
Yeah, we talked about, we have talked about doing a townwide tournament. I think that's a cool idea in general. When they did the junior one this year, it was
Yeah, no, it's
super
great.
successful.
Yep.
And I know you guys were a huge
Yep.
part of that, and
Yep.
that was, ended up going really well. And so I think that the interest of golf in this town would show that it would be really well.
Bring your utility bill with you, right?
If you want to play, right.
We'll schedule that way you have to.
But yeah, so let's make sure that, Anthony agrees with 1972, and then,
We could just say it's 1972.
I think we should say it.
I mean, the newspaper article I found says 1971, but I'm good with 72.
Right, the motion?
And we can do
Yeah, right,
something
that's
fun.
right.
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna do a 50 top.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah.
Do a little dance.
Oh, I don't know what the.
Dress up 50
But we could do another 70.
Oh, yeah.
We could do a post-
I got a couple ideas already.
Yeah, we could get an anniversary shirt, which would be good.
Yeah, there you go. There's lots to do around it.
Yeah. But thank you for bringing that up, because I didn't even put it together. And then, so I do think that's another fun way to celebrate the course, the clubhouse,
Yeah.
everything. So,
I never even heard of the townwide tennis thing. Is that they do it annually?
Down in the bubble,
Yeah,
down
they
there.
do it every year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they do singles, doubles, all that, get guys. And what's nice about it is guys from the beach club or the private clubs will come down and play in
Yeah.
it because, it's competitive and they wanna, some people still wanna win.
Yeah. Good. That's great. I like that. It's fun. All right.
Brian Daly, 195 Hurd Street, and not sure if the commission is aware of this, but I get emails, and every now and then I open them up, and it's actually, it was a Board of Finance agenda, and this Thursday they're having a meeting, special meeting, and on the agenda is, they're looking, it looks like, to fund the contamination fund for the fill pile,
Yeah.
and I guess there's a bunch of surpluses happening in town, and one of them being HSR golf fees, and they're taking over $500,000 that's listed as H. Smith Richardson golf fees and contributing that to the fill pile fund. And I wasn't sure if the golf commission was aware of this or was spoken to about this, but it just showed up. I happened to read it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's probably a government thing where the Board of Finance can do this, but...
Yeah, because I think our money goes into the general fund, and then the
Yeah.
towns can do whatever they want with it, so we don't control what happens to it, but it's interesting that they actually detailed that it's gonna come from us.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I'll share it with you if you want to see it, but they have where all the surpluses came in this year from tax levies, interest on delinquent taxes, conveyance fees, and it's H. Richardson. It's just pretty interesting that it's such a big enough surplus that we have at H. Smith Richardson that it's actually going into this list that will then feed the fill pile fund.
So if I could just address why the surplus was so large, it was because the Board of Finance, the RTM, and the Board of Selectmen arbitrarily cut our budgets 20% off the top last year when we were budgeting due to COVID. Then the golf course opened in May, and as you guys, everybody knows, we knocked it out of the park, and I don't think obviously nobody saw that golf was going to be such a hot commodity during COVID. So yes, the surplus to the golf budget was in excess of $400,000. Surpluses at the end of every fiscal year. This is just a procedure that the Board of Finance and the RTM and the Board of Selectmen go through each year. Maybe not the RTM, but Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance go through is they take those surpluses and then they vote on what to do with them, and it ends up getting treated like revenue. So that's why they're going through that process. I believe Board of Selectmen approved that today, so now it goes to the Board of Finance, like Mr. Daly just mentioned, on Thursday, and then they get to decide what to do with that. Sometimes it goes into a rainy day fund, I think in most cases, and then in a case like this where they have all the unknowns from the fill pile scandal, they're trying to take that money and they're going to try to offset some of the costs they know they have coming. So, anyway, that's where that's going.
Good. All right. Next month, rates. Just so you know, that'll be on the agenda, so. Bob's gonna,
Say again?
the rates, but we wanna follow the,
I wondered if we were going to...
yeah, so I think it's each November, like I said, when we did the financing in whatever year now it was approved, 2019 or 2018? 2018, I guess. The Golf Commission put together a schedule of rates and rate increases tied to the new clubhouse, and so the question will be next month, we'll have to vote on it, whether we want to continue to follow that increase, which I believe, I haven't pulled it up yet, but I do think it's $1 a year that it's increased. But we'll get to that. Bob's going to do a little research again on just the market, where we are in terms of, we do this every year, kind of where we stand with the other local courses. And then, Crew, maybe if you could just pull that, it's in the materials from last year in November, the schedule that we looked at last year.
That was the November one, right?
Yes, correct. If you just send that out to the commission. All right. Anything else from anybody? Talk about 4-0? Yeah. All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
Who seconded, I'm sorry.
Mike,
Okay, Mike, thanks.
Secretary, and Betty, 2 months.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for driving down.
I read my notes.